Hey guys, welcome to the second in my series of videos about the Casio XW-PD1. In the last video I expressed a lot of confusion about how this one works, and I also told you that it would have quite a steep learning curve, but I also expressed the opinion that learning this machine would really bear a lot of fruit in terms of the quality of music that you can make from it. It really is a very exciting instrument, and I'm starting to get the hang of it, so let's have a look a little bit closer. Okay, so the display on the XW-PD1 is cryptic. It's telling us the BPM now, but really a lot of the short messages that it flashes up don't really make a whole lot of sense. It's more important to learn the buttons around the edge there, how they relate to each other, and how they relate to the functions of the sample keys, as well as the functions of the individual keys around the edge. There are 16 of these keys in a circle here, so obviously that relates to notes that you can place within a bar, and each of them has a secondary function. Nice and confusing? I agree, but you really have to study this machine to get the most out of it. So, naturally the first thing you're going to want to do is write a sequence. So you press the sequence button there. Now you can see when I hold it down, a different number comes up, and a whole bunch of cryptic information as well. But for a moment there, we see that we're on sequence number 102. You can change that by holding down the sequence button and pressing plus minus there. I actually do want 102 because it's one that I made earlier. So, since we're on the user pattern that we want, let's have a quick listen to how it sounds. Bear in mind this is going to come out of the internal speaker, so it might sound a little bit tinny. This thing sounds awesome if you put it through an amplifier. So just a 1-bar loop there, and if you listen to that bass note there, you can imagine how hefty that would be coming through a decent sized speaker. Anyway, this is where it gets even trickier. Let's say we want to see how that sequence is laid out. We have to go to step, which luckily is already illuminated. That's illuminated by default when you switch on the machine. We go to record, not play, and that'll put us in step recording mode. If we do hit play, however, we'll see that LED going round and round clockwise. And if we switch on bank here, then we'll see the 4 top right keys illuminate, and they indicate individual instruments at work. So one could be synth, one could be bass, one could be drums, for example. Another one could be just a sequence for the effects, of which there are many on this machine, and they're very impressive and exciting. But let's go to bank number 1 and hit play. Now what I was hoping to see there was the pads illuminating as it played, but I've made a mistake, the kind of trap you can easily fall into when using this machine. I have to switch back to step if I want to see. So why did I see no lights flashing there on the pads? I'll tell you why, because I made just the kind of mistake that you can so easily make on the XW-PD1. You need to have the right buttons pressed before you see anything. Track 2 is where most of this music is recorded. And what's on track 3? Okay, so that's that bass note there. And on track 4, those bleeping notes in the foreground. If I switch back to step over here, okay, now we're going to see exactly how these notes are laid out on the ring around the edge. I forgot to press a button again. Let's get our step record on. Not playing, so we're in step mode. Okay, so on this note here, we can see that it plays over here at 3 o'clock and nowhere else. Okay, so let's play that. Not a particularly influential note in the entire mix, so I'm going to go back to bank and see what was in bank 3. I think there are a couple of notes in there. What did we have? So just one little bass note there. 2 notes. Let's go back to step. And we can see that we've got a bass note that lasts for 5 of these little lights. I think they're crotchets or something, are they? Quarter notes. And down here we've got the second bass note in the bar that goes for 3 lights in lengths. And let's watch it go around. Alright, you get the idea. Was it this note? Yes, it was. Okay. So if I press other notes here, you'll see that nothing is sequenced. So there's my lowest note. That's a C there. This is C up 1 octave. So let's put a few of those in, just random spots. Oh, hang on. Let's take that off. I think I accidentally pressed another key. Okay, so one there, one there, one there, couple here, and maybe one there. Let's just see how that sounds. So straight away, just through that kind of random behavior, you start to get some interesting melodic patterns, and ideas start to come to mind about how you can structure this song, and you begin to get a vision of exactly how it's going to sound at the end. So that's my basic overview of sequencing. It's definitely not a definitive tutorial, guys, but I just wanted to give you a little bit more insight into how the XW-PD1 works at the most basic level. There is a lot more depth to this machine, so we will be looking at it more in the future. Thanks for watching Gearfacts. Please feel free to leave a comment with a question or something like that, because there will be plenty of questions asked about this machine before we've all mastered it. It'd be awesome if you could hit that like button, and it would be even awesomer if you could subscribe to Gearfacts. Thanks again, guys. Look forward to seeing you again very soon.